right, we're out of the gate, and I'm ready to go today. We're live from NBA Summer League. JT here as we get going, our final broadcast from NBA Summer League, and we're streaming live on YouTube. We have Metta World Peace, who's going to join us right out of the gate here, so we're excited about that. And a full day, 2 hours here, live from what should be a pretty good NBA summer session here as the Lakers are playing today. The Lakers are playing today at 3 o'clock, and the Lakers really have a nice crowd when they show up here. So we got a lot to get to. Everything from Fernando Mendoza, who was front and center at the ESPYs last night, which was really cool. England lost the World Cup. Last I talked to you, England losing the World Cup freaked me out. That was kind of brutal. And everybody else who was watching sports yesterday, it was about the World Cup. And we're still waiting on the summer of LeBron James. We are still waiting on LeBron, which I hope something happens here because I'm on the radio Sunday for 4 hours on the deadest Sunday of the year. And I want LeBron James to make a decision by that time. Welcome in, everybody. We're brought to you live by Modelo, the fighting spirit of Modelo, and we are thrilled to be a part of Modelo's summer. We got a lot of great promotions coming up. Modelo is back with us for football season, and we're excited to get into that with Modelo, and they have a couple of new promotions for us. So we're going to tell you all about that as it happens here, and a lot more news to get to. A lot of NBA news brewing here. I just watched the Bucks have a workout here for a little bit and had a good time there, and we're jumping in with Albert Hall, the creator of Summer League, here in a little bit as we get rolling. So if you want to get in today, you know the number is 702-365-9200. 702-365-9200 is the number. And we're also excited to talk about the Raiders and what's about to happen here in the next couple of weeks with Raiders training camp getting ready to get underway. And it was really excited that the Raiders got a big boost today in the world of sports marketing and PR with Fernando Mendoza last night as he was at the ESPYs and said, "Go Raiders," and a lot of people picked up on that, and that was exciting to see. Other than that, what we're talking about mostly today at NBA Summer League is LeBron James. And for those who say, why do you want to talk about LeBron? You've lost your mind if you don't want to talk about LeBron during Summer League, as we're a guest of Summer League right here, and we got a lot to talk about. So LeBron James is going to make a decision pretty quickly here in the next couple of days. Everybody is reporting that. So we want to dive in, and if you have an opinion on that, we'll jump in on that. So we're going to kick off the show today with Metta World Peace, who's going to join us right now. We'll dive in with him, and he'll jump in and get in here because he knows the world of the NBA, and we're excited about that. So let's get him going as we get going. And Metta, thanks for a few minutes of time, and I'll stand up with you here for a minute or sit down if you'd like to sit. Yeah, man.
Is this the first time we met in person?
I think it's the first time because you've been coming on my radio show with me for a long time.
For a long time.
Let's get that down here.
There yes, thank you, sir.
There you go, my friend.
I've been coming on your show for a long time.
You have been.
And I'm like, hold on. I think this is the first time I've ever met
JT the Brick up close, man.
We had a lot of great shows.
We've had a lot of great shows together. So, first off, this NBA Film Festival, the Summer League Film Festival.
Dennis Scott, baby.
Right there, one of the best, one of the best. What brings you to Summer League other than seeing so many former teammates, scouts, players?
Yeah.
What's going on this week?
Well, initially I came to see Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
So I told my daughter, July 15th, we're going to see Mary J. Blige. Now, we obviously know that the Summer League is in Vegas, so that was more in my subconscious. Then I also had a real estate event with Mr. Alex Dixon. It was called Beyond the Strip. Everybody's talking about building NBA teams, but what about Beyond the Strip? So that meeting was on UNLV campus, right behind the Thomas and Mack Center. I'm like, hold on, we need to just go to Summer League. It's right there. It's literally, it's hot. Felt like an hour. But it was a 4-minute walk, which felt like 40 minutes in that heat.
Well, I'm from Long Island, New York, and your background in Queens.
Yes.
So a couple of big topics right out of the gate. The Knicks, after 53 years, it was my holy grail.
Yes.
When you saw them climbing through the playoffs,
yes,
coming back from down 29, what they did to Cleveland, what they did to the Sixers, and then what they did to Wembanyama. What was going through your head watching the finals, as it seemed like San Antonio had him on the ropes multiple times.
Yes.
But Mike Brown made the adjustments.
Yeah, Mike Brown made the adjustments. I mean, we always wanted to see the Knicks win. You know, the Knicks winning, it felt like I won and every other, singular person in New York City, which is millions. And you saw the different personalities individually and with the New Yorkers, but you saw those personalities come together. And the thing about the Knicks is you feel like you did something. So if you're a fan and you're sitting at home and you cheered, you feel like because you cheered that loud, that's the reason why the Knicks won, right?
Yeah.
That's how we feel. We just take so much ownership.
It's my buddy Rick Hamill, man. I know him well.
My guy.
So you felt like that was a piece of you. You felt like the Knicks winning was an absolute piece of you along the way. Good to see you, my friend. So going back to your youth, your family, your cousins, everyone involved, it felt like that was a big gorilla off everyone's back.
It was incredible. And my head coach of Cal State LA Los Angeles Division II basketball, women's basketball, Coach Torino Johnson right there, he has a relationship with Coach Mike Brown. So on March 4th, we get a text. He gets a text, but talk about defense with Coach Brendan O'Connor. So Coach Torino calls me and says, "Hey, I think I'm gonna talk some defense with the Knicks." So I say, "Oh, yeah, okay, give him everything." I'm like, "I love the Knicks." So everything they talked about was a lot of my defense strategy. We coached together for 7 years, but since March 4th, they went 46-19. And I was saying, like, it was so ironic. I always wanted to be a part of a Knicks championship. And for the Knicks to invite me to the Legends Night,
wow!
I get a Knicks jacket. I played for the Knicks for 3 months. It was only 3 months, but it was great. Then I also contributed in some sort of fashion, to the, since March 4th, they went 46-19. And one, it validates how great of a coach I am. But two, to contribute, even if I was washing the floors under the players' bench, anything to contribute to a Knicks title.
Wow, that's very humble to say that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do anything
to contribute, and you did with your defensive philosophy, because I didn't believe that Mike Brown was going to be better than Thibodeau. Why would I believe that after he came off the bench from Sacramento and was taken over for Tibbs, who was a defensive head coach? What did you see with Mike Brown that led you to believe that he can do this?
Well, I think, I think that with Mike Brown, he has a lot of experience. So with the experience with, going under Coach Pop, then going under Coach Carlisle, then coaching the Cavs to the finals, then going under Coach Kerr, and then being the head coach. You've been fired multiple times, but that's a lot of chances and a lot of opportunities and a lot of experience. At some point, it's going to all come together. If you don't have a guy like Jalen, it's a little bit difficult. We'll just say that, right? But it takes a coach like Mike Brown and a player like Jalen to come together, not like oil and water, but like sugar and water. That mixes very well, right?
Yeah,
it tastes like iced tea.
Tastes like Kool-Aid.
Right? Arnold Palmer.
There you go.
Perfect collaboration.
Matt, I got to ask you this because you got a lot of friends here, and I know you're pressed for time. But the LeBron recruiting, you were recruited several times in your career. You saw people try to maybe recruit Kobe away. Shaq comes to the Lakers.
Right.
What is going on? What can you tell us behind the scenes from the Warriors? I think Cleveland's the best fit because they went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
Then we look at the Sixers with Maxey and now having Jaylen Brown. Who do you believe is the front runner for LeBron James?
The front runner for LeBron James, it's hard to say. I never thought I would be talking about this at the end of someone's career, right? I mean, the Cavs, for me personally, I think the Cavs would be great because he's played there. I think that was the single most important championship in the history of the NBA because LeBron went back home and won a championship somewhere where they never had a shot. That's a big championship. So to end your career there, I think that's big. I think now for an opportunity to win a championship, he has a decision to make. I know he wants to win a title. Now, do you go to the Warriors to win that title? I mean, clearly the Cavs could have won. James had a rough series. So do you go to the Cavs, right, to win a title back at home, which would be the biggest story for him? Or do you go somewhere else? So, he has a decision to make. If he needs help, he could just call me, and I'll help him make the decision.
But West lost 8 out of 9.
Right.
So Russell won 11. I want to say
he lost 1 or 2.
1 or 2. Yeah.
Okay, so now Wembanyama has a shot. I think Wembanyama is going to win 7 rings.
Last one, Metta. I want to ask you. This is a really personal question. My son, who's backstage running my show, grew up. The first words out of his mouth, sports-wise, was Kobe. I want to know every day, how many times do you think of Kobe, and what can you share with our audience on how he's motivated you the rest of your life from the relationship you had with him?
I think Kobe motivated me just seeing his work ethic. And he added some emotional control to my game. I can still be intense because he was intense. But also, with that intensity comes responsibility. So you have to monitor. Some people got to monitor their intensity. Some people got to monitor their passion because the mind, the body doesn't work like that. The body says you're really happy or you're really sad, right? It doesn't really know the difference. So if you have no control, and that's where you get a guy like Derek Fisher and a guy like Kobe Bryant to help me channel that passion into greatness, and then that's where you get a focused player in the finals. So that's like long-winded.
No, it's not.
But that is probably the best explanation that I have in terms of Kobe's impact on me.
And that's the question I asked because you have a long life in front of you. And
Yes,
you feel
long
like you have the best mindset now that you've ever had in your life for your kids and your life and your business going forward. You're in the sweet spot of your life right now?
I mean, I would think so. You get older, and I think sometimes with the environment, it's hard to navigate who's parenting. The parents are working, right? So now the streets are parenting you, and then other people outside of your neighborhood's parenting you. And then sometimes that way it can go wrong. You do have good mentors out there that can help a kid go to the next level. But you also have mentors, supposedly mentors, they don't know they're mentors, and they're not helping the kid go to the next level. They're guiding the kid in the opposite diagonal direction, which is down a downhill slide, right? So that's where life becomes really interesting, you understand? And it's something that we have to navigate. It's really community policing, community parenting.
Great life, great guy. I'm happy we're able to do this.
Thanks
for doing this.
Appreciate it. Finally met JT, man.
We finally met, man. We've done
the
we've done
greatest.
Hey,
you
man,
are the greatest.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely.
Good to talk to you. All the best. Appreciate it, everybody. Thanks, Metta, for coming on. That's a nice surprise to start off the show. You get a legend like that, a guy who's had an unbelievable career, a guy who played with so many great players in his career, and a guy I've done probably 30 interviews with him, but we never met before in person. I've met, but never met like that. So hope you enjoyed that. Hope you were able to hear that, and hope you enjoy Metta World Peace. And guys, quickly, I don't think he goes by Metta World Peace anymore. As I Googled that, and someone can help me in the chat, as I Googled this, because I'm pretty good at reintroducing guests. That's one of the things I learned. He goes by Metta Shandiford-Artest, but I thought it was Metta World Peace. So, I don't know. I just kept calling him Metta. I think that works well. All right, so we're off and running. That was fun. We're going to have a couple other guests joining us. So what's going on here is they have a film festival, and they put out these amazing NBA films and documentaries. So they're lining up the red carpet here in front of us, and you're going to see a lot of people coming in who are big people in the movie documentary industry. So they're going to be giving us guests from time to time. We'll see who we're going to get along the way. Maxx Crosby is here today as I'm texting back and forth. Max will be here at 1 o'clock on the court. I think he'll be on the main court today. So that'll be pretty good, and excited about that. And I want to get into a lot of other things that are happening here at NBA Summer League. Yesterday when I wrapped up the show, England gave up the lead. I was heading home, and I thought that England would force extra time, and they lost. If you have any opinions on exactly what happened yesterday with the biggest sport in the world, let me know, because I know we got some soccer fans out there, 702-365-9200. And I'm excited to talk about the NBA and LeBron James. Metta said something interesting on where he's going to land. And a lot of people are saying that the Warriors made the best push. Steve Kerr was able to talk to him. We know confirmed Draymond was able to talk to him. We know confirmed that Steph Curry was good on Good Morning America, trying to go out there and make the final push. I don't know what happened in Cleveland. I'm watching everything the way you're watching it. I don't hear any buzz coming out of Cleveland in regards to James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, And what's happening there with their coaching staff? Nothing. But I'm hearing a lot of press and a lot of people here at Summer League think the Warriors might have been able to jump to the front of the line in regards to trying to get him. I think that's a really big storyline, if possible. So if you got an opinion on where he's going to end up, and Clay Baker, I bring in Clay back at the Lotus Studios. Clay, I know you've been monitoring this on the show this morning, and after we left yesterday, have you changed your mind? Are you thinking any other choice for LeBron James other than the Warriors, Cleveland, or Philadelphia? I think the Heat are out.
I think the Heat are out, and I also I know the Cleveland there's a background there, and obviously a shared interest, but I don't know. It seems like when his commitment and dedication wanted to be closer to his family, why wouldn't he stay around California? And also the familiarity that he has with somebody like Steve Kerr goes a long way with me.
Yeah, absolutely. What'd you think last night of Fernando at the ESPYs? I wasn't able to text you and call you last night, but what'd you think of Fernando with the white tux looking like Humphrey Bogart?
In Casablanca.
Someone.
Yes.
That was pretty good. Did he look like he was in Casablanca?
I thought he was going to kiss Ingrid Bergman at the plane and say goodbye. And here's looking at you, kid. He looked great, and that was a like the classic look. And the way he goes and delivers the SB acceptance speech to go and say and thanks and congratulations to all the other nominees. I love stuff like that. But of course, to end it with God bless and go Raiders. You could hear one Raider fan in the background after he said that was like, yeah.
Yeah, and I know you downloaded that, so if we can play that right here in the open, I'd like to hear this. So let's get to this. This is Fernando Mendoza getting an award last night at the ESPYs in New York, and here's his acceptance speech.
It goes to Fernando Mendoza.
Thank you, everybody. It's such a blessing to be here. First off, I want to give all the glory to God. Football. Thank you. Football is the ultimate team sport, and although this award has one name on it, it belongs to so many people. I want to give a huge thanks to my family, my coaches, my beloved Hoosier Nation, and most importantly, out of all of them, my beloved teammates. Love you guys. Appreciate everything you guys done for me. I also want to give a big congratulations to all the other nominees and all the amazing athletes being honored here tonight. God bless. Go Raiders. Thank you, guys.
Wow. I thought that was really cool that he got the Go Raiders in at the end of the acceptance speech. I mean, that is sharp. You know, the few times I've been able to interview Fernando Mendoza, I've been talking about the computer chip that is his mind and how smart he is and what he thinks about and everything else. And you know, just to see him last night get on stage with a white tuxedo with his mom and dad in the crowd and to go up there and get the Raider quote in at the end. He didn't have to do that. I mean, you don't have to do that at those events. Not everybody yells and shouts out their team. And he was able to do that. I thought that was so cool, so sharp. And another example of Fernando Mendoza putting himself on the biggest stages and handling himself perfectly. So that's real exciting. I'm excited for Fernando. I'm excited to be here at NBA Summer League. We started off with Metta World Peace. We'll get a couple other guests here as the red carpet is being built for this NBA Summer League Film Festival, where I don't know if you got a chance to watch the ABA documentary over the last year on Amazon Prime. It was one of the better sports documentaries I saw. And last year, they featured that here. So I got a little bit of a heads up with that as I met Dr. J, one of my childhood heroes, Julius Erving, and we were able to talk about that a little bit. And now to have an opportunity to see a whole bunch of their new films tonight, and their film festival will continue tonight over at Palms right here in Vegas, and I'll be a guest at that, so I'm really excited about that. Let's hear from some callers today. Let's get some Raiders going. We had Steve Wisniewski on earlier this week. In regards to the Raiders, everybody's talking about some of these issues in regards to rankings, of position rankings. I'm not that big on that. I know where Tyler Linderbaum is. I know how good Maxx Crosby is, the top 100 players. Ashton Genty, I could care less where he was in a ranking last year on any level because I know how much better of a player he's going to be this year, but a lot of Raider fans are talking about the excitement of this new roster, especially here at NBA Summer League. So as we get to NBA Summer League, we're going to have a lot to talk about. Maxx Crosby will be here today. He tends to bring a couple of Raiders with him, so we'll get a chance maybe to get some social media from him as Brandy's out here doing a great job for us. She does an unbelievable job here with all of our social media. So again, let's get going. What's happening this weekend? We have the World Cup final on Sunday. What Lionel Messi did yesterday was one of the greatest cross passes I've ever seen to win a soccer game in my life. Maybe there's been 2 or 3 all-time equal to that, but Argentina took complete control. You're right, Snow Raider. Complete control of England in the final 12 minutes of that game and took the World Cup away from England. The whole country, all of the UK, was ready to throw one of the biggest parties in the history of the UK, and it fell apart in front of everyone in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia is the place where England died. England died in Yorktown. In the Revolutionary War, their soccer team died in Atlanta, Georgia. Unbelievable. All right, I'm counting on some people today to fire it up. Let's get us going. 702-365-9200. Speaking to Alex DeCastroverde earlier today, he's excited about Mendoza Mondays. We're brought to you by the DeCastroverde Law Group. If you get into an accident or injured, 702-222-9999. When we come back, we'll start to get a couple other guests, your phone calls, and we'll talk about everything that's happening in the world of LeBron James and his decision that could happen, I doubt today, but it could happen at Fanatics Fest tomorrow. And if it happens today, hopefully it happens when Q's on, and we're covering it here also. Live from NBA Summer League at the Thomas & Mack Center. Love coming out to this, love the NBA, and I love what Vegas brings to the NBA.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by The Black Hole. Become a member of football's most notorious fans.
JT back with you. We are live from NBA Summer League, and we want to talk NBA today. Obviously, the Raiders. Mendoza was out in full force last night. We have some sound from that. But want to hear, this is the last show I'll be doing. We got a show tomorrow, but this is the last show we're going to do on LeBron James's decision. So if you're out there and you got a quick opinion on where LeBron is going to end up, especially those in the Bay Area, I've been really disappointed with our Bay Area audience on this topic. Other than like a handful of guys, I can only count on one hand, and I haven't been able to count on two hands, on how many Bay Area fans that listen to me and been listening to me for close to 30 years don't have a bleeping opinion on LeBron James going to the Warriors. I mean, this is like sleep tone. I mean, you Warrior fans, I should be nine lines deep on you Warrior fans wanting LeBron James or not. And if you think you're just going to call in the day he comes to the Warriors, I'm going to keep you off the radio if you don't have the balls to call in and say you want LeBron James. There's too many Warrior fans with this topic. I'm at NBA Summer League, man. I'm at NBA Summer League, and I got Warrior fans like, Cat got your tongue? You either want this guy or you don't. You either want him or you don't. So, Warrior fans, I'm calling you out today. 702-365-9200. From Hayward to San Leandro, to the dog patch where the building is, down to Burlingame, out to Stanford-on-the-Farm, to Cal Berkeley. You want LeBron James, you sound off now before you jump on a freaking bandwagon here in the next couple of days if he decides to go to the Warriors. Because I think I know what Warrior fans are going to do. If you don't get him and you end up losing him to Cleveland, I know you're going to come in and say you never wanted LeBron. So if you never wanted LeBron, then you should be able to come in now and tell me you don't want LeBron. It's that simple. It's Radio 101. Whenever there's an iconic player who's available, from Mike Piazza on WFAN in New York to any available player in the history of the Raiders, you got to get people going. You got to get everybody going. And I don't think enough people in the Bay Area. I know we do a bigger show than the radio stations that are left in the Bay Area. I can promise you that. This is your home when we talk Raiders. It should be your home on LeBron James. Thor, my good friend, Raider Nation Drinking Club, you either want LeBron James or you don't. So start us off and tell us what you're thinking.
JT, baby, JT, you know it. I'm a Warrior fan, and I personally say I don't want LeBron. My wife, a Warrior fan, wants LeBron. And so either way, someone in this household will be happy. I don't want LeBron because of just the rivalry we went through for those 6 years there or whatever. But if we get LeBron and he helps win another chip or something, that would be great. I just don't think that would make sense to me. We got to get younger. We had our dynasty. You know, I'm a real Warrior fan. I grew up loving Run TMC, Tim, Mitch, and Chris. You know what I'm saying? I went through the Latrell Sprewell years, all the terrible years of just awfulness to get to the Steph, Clay, Draymond area and the championship era. So I don't need for us to go try to buy something with the oldest team in the league. We need to get younger. We want to get better. But I also understand people thinking that would give us.
Hold on. Thor, come on. You get an opportunity to get LeBron James in a Warrior jersey with Steph and Draymond and possibly Jimmy Butler to put that greatest show on the court for 1 year. I mean, wouldn't that be at least entertaining when you're smoking a stick in the backyard watching an NBA game in Vegas and seeing LeBron? Or you have no interest in that because he's always been an enemy of the Warriors and you're a diehard Warrior fan.
Right, for sure. Oh, it would definitely be entertaining. And so I could accept it. I could. And I know that it's probably 50-50. I know a lot of Warrior fans who just hate LeBron. I never hated LeBron, but I don't want him because he was always the enemy. I mean, I also grew up in the Magic, Michael, whatever era. They played against each other. They didn't want to join forces.
Great point.
So that's just how I am. I just think that, but as a team for the long haul, we need to get younger. I don't think LeBron makes us necessarily an instant championship caliber team, but he might. He might. I could be completely wrong. They're not paying me to be in there and do that. So hopefully he does, and then he would bring a championship. I would not be thrilled about it, though.
Okay.
But if we did win a championship, I would be. I'd go crazy, but I would.
All right, fair enough.
And Draymond.
All right, Thor, thank you. You know, you sounded off. Whenever I get a call from Vegas, I buy a lottery ticket on this channel, so I'm thrilled about that. Thor checking in from the mean streets of Summerlin. Look, I'm not going to rip on Warrior fans. I'm not going to make fun of Warrior fans. Who the hell cares what I think? The Warriors were a dynasty at one point. But, you know, Steph's getting older. Draymond's getting older. These guys want to play together because they're friends. I just went on a great trip with 4 of my best friends and their wives. I didn't go on with strangers. I went with my best friends to have a great time. LeBron wants to hang out with his friends. I don't think he's really tight with Maxey and Joel Embiid in Philadelphia. But if LeBron's able to win a ring in Philadelphia, he'll be the only player in NBA history to have won 5 rings with 4 different teams, and every team that he went to, he won a championship. Michael Jordan never did that. And don't tell me Michael Jordan didn't need to do that. No, he went to the Wizards, and he didn't do that. And all you Michael Jordan apologists, you never rip on Michael Jordan for anything negative. Every time Michael Jordan didn't make it to the NBA Finals, y'all forgot. When LeBron made it to the NBA Finals and lost, you ripped on LeBron. Well, when Michael Jordan did make it to the NBA Finals, you gave him a pass. So that's what's been happening in the era of Michael Jordan and LeBron James and this who's the greatest GOAT. You know, I would say this, Messi versus Ronaldo. Who's the better player? I don't know. I think it's Messi. Well, if Messi wins back-to-back World Cups and wins the Golden Boot at 39, there's no more conversation about Ronaldo. There's no more conversation about any other soccer player other than Pele, who won 3 in a different time with much less competition than what Messi's going through. So I try to take different eras of sports, and I try to bring them together, right? I try to bring it together. I try to say what was different in Babe Ruth's era that's different than Ohtani's era. A lot, right? Diet, training, workouts, sleep, cryo chambers, whatever you want to do. But I can compare Babe Ruth to Ohtani. They both pitched. They both hit home runs. And then you have a debate on this. And when it comes down to this LeBron James final decision, if he takes the team to the NBA Finals at this age when Michael Jordan was long gone and retired and decided to go the Wizards route, it's going to help LeBron in the chase to Michael Jordan. Because I think LeBron is this far. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my fingers. JT the Brick on YouTube. I think he's right there. He's right behind Michael Jordan. If he wins a ring in Philadelphia with the Sixers, believe me, 20 years from now, people are going to be talking about that. People will be talking about Jordan's sneakers, but they won't be talking about Jordan the player. They'll be talking about LeBron. Big D in Walnut Creek. Hope you're doing well, Big D. What's happening, my friend?
Hey, JT. Yeah, I just finished up round 4 of chemo, 2 more to go, and I'm on my way. All systems go. So thanks to everybody out there for the thoughts and prayers. I really appreciate it. And I'll be the first to admit that I've never really been a fan of LeBron, but anything that makes my team better, makes the success better, I'm all for it. It's the team success over my feelings, first and foremost. And do I think they can win a title? Probably not, but they can go into the playoffs and make some noise. And who knows, once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. Teams can get hot. And it takes me back to, back in the day when the Raiders were talking about bringing in Bill Romanowski and Jerry Rice, and people were like, oh, we're going to want them. They're Niners. They're Broncos. Well, you know what? It's crazy. These guys can only improve our team. They improved our team, and they take us to a Super Bowl. So, again, team success over feelings every time, every day. That's all I got, brother. Take care.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. And it's no secret here for our guys and everybody who's in our group chat that Big D is fighting through cancer and he's going through chemo and treatment, and that's a lot more important than the show. So in order to hear him on the phone, that really makes me feel well. I'm praying for him every day, and I know he's going to get through it. He's been a dear friend of mine for a long time, and he's going to get through all of this. 702-365-9200. I am always team over player. All right, so I always support the team. So when it comes to the Raiders, the Silver and Black, they can bring in any player, okay? And they've had some Mavericks, and they've had some guys who lived on the edge. And what the most important thing is the Silver and Black and the Raiders. But before you go sign a bad guy or a guy you don't like, you can have an opinion on that. Just like I would hope that the Raiders wouldn't sign Tyreek Hill or Stephon Diggs. But if they do, what am I going to do? I'm not there. I'm not the Twitter police. If they end up signing these guys because they think they can help the team win one more game that can bring them one game closer to the playoffs, I want them to do what they think is best for the franchise. And that's what LeBron's a great character guy. He's never had a problem in his life off the field, off the court. I mean, I just look at the players who have had problems. Phil Mickelson, Tiger Woods, all the players that get in trouble, right? We've been looking at Geno Smith lately and what's been happening with him. LeBron's been the perfect citizen. He's been the unbelievable perfect citizen. What can you criticize LeBron James about? What? That he's a diva? What? That he flops a little bit? The guy's available pretty much for every game. He goes out and gives you 25 points. He goes home to his wife. Hasn't been divorced 3 times. Isn't all over social media. I think he's a pretty good guy. So when you take a look at what he's done overall, I think more and more people should give LeBron James the ability to make up his mind with this last decision and where this last decision is going to bring him. I'm kind of bitter at LeBron because he never wanted to be a Knick. Never wanted to be a Knick when the Knicks desperately needed his help. The Knicks desperately needed LeBron 5-10 years ago. And LeBron went from Cleveland. Then he went to Miami. Then he went, bouncing around. Then he went to the Lakers. All those stops, he could have went to the Knicks and would have delivered the Knicks a championship in my mind. And he snubbed his nose at the Knicks. So that's why I have a little bit of a personal dislike for him from time to time. But I always respect great players and great players in their prime. And what Messi, Tom Brady, and everybody's doing in their prime is pretty spectacular. And when you see guys at this stage of their career that are going out there and competing at the highest level, you should put some respect on their name. And Tom Brady's at the top of the list. I know a lot of Raider fans weren't Patriot fans. I know that. But a lot of Raider fans now understand what Tom Brady can help do for the Raiders to get the Raiders to the playoffs and maybe a championship. know, a lot of people in sports, we take this really personal. We don't know these people. We've never met them. We don't know what they're like. They're not in our living room. We learn to detest people that we've never met. That's not the way life is. But a lot of people, when we get to sports, make it personal. And I think there's an issue with that. There's a bit of a problem. In football, I want the best player to help the team win. Maybe one of the most shady character guys in sports history is Lawrence Taylor. If you look at Lawrence Taylor and the person he was off the field, he was a really, really bad guy for a lot of his career after he was a Giant. I took his jersey down in my house. I told that story. I had his jersey up in my home, and I took it down because he was just an embarrassment to the league. And when he played for the Giants, he was the greatest player I ever saw in my life. No one has ever come close, in my opinion, to Lawrence Taylor in the NFL on defense. Maybe Myles Garrett, maybe Aaron Donald, but they weren't Lawrence Taylor. Myles Garrett now is getting kind of close. Myles Garrett is doing some things in football now that I didn't think guys could do at this age in his career. He's playing at that high of a level. But, man, when you see great players along the way, you got to appreciate what they do on the field, on the court. And then you take into account what they do off the court. And if they're really bad guys, don't buy their jersey, boo them when they show up on the field or at the arena. Well, when they end up coming to your team, you got a big decision to make. Is it the player or the team? And normally for me, it's the team. 702-365-9200. We're at NBA Summer League. We're right outside the Film Festival. Coming up here in a little bit, we're going to get a current offensive lineman in the NFL. George Fant is going to join us. Plays for the Commanders on the offensive line. He's really good friends with Maxx Crosby. Played for the Seahawks under Pete Carroll. Beat the Raiders last year. Remember that game? So we're going to look at all of this, and we're going to talk about that coming up with George when we come back. If you want to get through, we got about an hour and a half to hear from you. 702-365-9200. 702-365-9200. We're live from NBA Summer League, brought to you by Aspen Vodka, our brand new partner, proud partner of the Yankees and the Raiders. You'll be hearing a lot about Aspen Vodka and Raiderade. When you go to the game, you'll be able to get a Raiderade at the Torch. We'll tell you about that all summer as we continue live from NBA Summer League. JT on Raider Nation Radio.
To the field, it's Tucker in stride inside the 20 to the 10. Touchdown, Tucker! His third touchdown of the game is a 61-yard strike. The trifecta for Trey, and the Raiders not done yet with 3:42 to go.
JT, back with you. I am thrilled to be joined by George Fant, an offensive lineman from the Commanders. 9-year starter, 11 years in the league, former basketball player here for the Film Festival. Pleasure to meet you. Great to see you. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for having me, man. Pleasure to meet you as well.
Your story's amazing. You're a college basketball player. Pick it up from there, playing in the NCAA tournament. What was the road like to get you to the NFL?
Yeah, man, it was cool, man. It was very exciting. You know, one of those things where, was at the end of my basketball career, had opportunities to possibly play football. One of those things where I really had to, pray about it, really see if it was a great opportunity for me, and I felt like it was. Just went back for a year, learned from a lot of great players, and had a really good pro day, and had my opportunity with the Seahawks, and then from there it just kind of grew.
If you didn't have, you were undrafted, so if you didn't have that great pro day, you might not have an NFL career.
100%, man. No, for sure. It was just one of those things, though. I knew I was a really good athlete. At 6'7", 6'6", 300 pounds. I knew I could really run fast, jump high, move really good. But just one of those things that if I had the right coaching, I would be able to do this thing for a long time. And fortunate for me, I got signed to the Seahawks and had a really good coaching staff there, and was able to, parlay this to an 11-year career.
So Pete Carroll had a big impact on your career.
Huge impact on my career, man. You talk about somebody who believed in me early, really, let me grow as a player. Early in my career, where a lot of teams maybe wouldn't have done that, right? So if you look at Seattle in 2016, it was the only team that had undrafted free agents. I think they had the most undrafted free agents in 2013 to 15, 16. So it was just one of those things, man, where, he just believed in me. He really pushed me to be great and be myself and really just gave me an opportunity, man. And once I, felt like I had, somebody like that believed in me, it was just from there, it was just like swing for the fences.
So you were on the field last year playing as the Commanders beat the Raiders. Maxx Crosby's a friend of yours.
Right. Yeah.
Pete Carroll was one of your big coaching mentors. And you're friends with Geno Smith. And Geno is a good guy. You have a good friendship with him.
Do.
What do you remember about the Raiders in that game last year? Because that's kind of where the wheels fell off for the Raiders. Because the Raiders opened up the season, beat the Patriots, who went on to the Super Bowl. And that was early in the season. And then Marcus Mariota rushing and throwing. The fourth quarter, you guys had your helmets off.
Yeah.
The game was pretty much over, but you had a lot of friends on the sideline of the Raiders.
Right. No, for sure. I mean, I just think at that point of the time of the game, and I think that that was right before that game was actually before our wheels kind of fell off, right? Yeah. So with the Commanders. So our defense was playing at a really high level. Dan Quinn is one of the premier defensive minds in the game, so we had a really good scheme against you guys, and I think that you guys just were young, and you definitely prepared. But sometimes some things just kind of don't run your way, right? So I think that was the situation that game, and for sure got a chance to see a lot of my really, really close friends that I've had over the years in that team. Brendan Carroll, Pete Carroll, all the rest of those guys, man. So it was good to see them. But, yeah, man, that game just kind of got out of control.
It did. And you like Kubiak stepping in right now? You think that's a good fit?
I really do like Kubiak, man. He's very serious about his game. I was with Seattle the year before they won the Super Bowl, so I missed the Super Bowl again with them. And just watching from afar, man, just the way they scheme everything up off of the run game is very impeccable, man. Like, I really like how they do things, and I think that he's going to bring that same system to you guys. We spoke a minute ago about what you guys got coming there this year, and I think that as long as your offensive line is able to run the ball well at a good clip and gain 3, 4, 5 yards a game a play, then we're going to be able to. You guys going to be able to have good play action and play off of that.
George Fant, as we wrap it up, you're a businessman now.
Yes.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And I'm really impressed about what you're doing here. So tell us what your next goals are in life, because you're still in the NFL, but you're building a brand outside of that. What are you doing today? What are your goals in the next 5 to 10 years?
Right, yeah. So I started my own sports agency, Sunday's Project Sports Group. We're a full-service agency who specializes also with a niche of helping crossover athletes. So helping guys like myself who are really good athletes, play basketball, football, lacrosse, any other sport, right, who I think that has the traits that could play the next level in NFL, right? So I do a really good job of evaluating those guys, and I'm helping those guys transition to our crossover to the NFL. So that's been, my baby right now, and just kind of giving my time to that and helping guys, my way of giving back to the game.
You don't seem to be a guy that's worried about retirement and what's going to be next.
No, not at all.
Why
I'm
is
doing
that?
a little bit. I've had some really good vets around me. You talk about having guys like Richard Sherman, Doug Baldwin, and sitting around those guys and listening to those guys talking about investment properties and talking about what's after football, and it really jogged my brain right away to start doing those things, man. So I think the last 6 years I've been ready to transition out of the league and go to the next thing, next step of my life. And with a story like mine, who's came from pretty much nothing and switching from basketball to football and had a really resilient mindset, I think that I'm able to do, kind of whatever I want to. I don't think that I have limits in my what I want to do in life.
I really appreciate you giving me a few minutes.
Hey, man, thanks
you got
for
a
having
great
me
story.
on. I appreciate it,
listen,
man.
And I'm not going to tell everybody what we were talking about with Maxx Crosby. We don't want anybody touching Maxx in Raider Nation.
Yeah.
I know that people want Maxx Crosby. I wasn't born yesterday.
Look out for Maxx Crosby in the Golden Bridge.
Oh, don't tell me that, man. That's going to go viral. You just said look out for Maxx Crosby.
Hey.
What uniform? I'm not letting them go, man.
I don't know. Maxx Crosby, Nick Bosa would look really good.
Oh,
it'll look good. But
it would not look good.
Nation,
You know why?
Sorry.
You know why? Because there are some players, and Maxx Crosby's one, tatted up with Raider tats. He don't look good in a Niner jersey.
I
or
don't
a
think so
Bills
either,
jersey.
man. But the nature of the beast.
Yeah, good
nature
to
of
see
the
you,
beast.
man.
Thanks for having me
All
on,
the
man.
best,
I appreciate
George.
it.
You got it, man. Appreciate
Thanks.
it very much. George Fant. When we come back, we'll wrap up this hour right now. We'll come back with hour number 2. Going to talk to George for a few minutes off air, and we'll be back live from NBA Summer League, the film festival here. Metta World Peace, George Fant. We got a lot of other good guests coming up hour number 2. Stick around. All right, I'm back. Hour number 2 on Raider Nation Radio as we open it up here, and we are live from NBA Summer League. Hour number 2 here. It is kind of like herding cats. There are a whole bunch of NBA players that just showed up. A whole bunch of them. And Ray Allen, I'm seeing our buddy Baron Davis is here. Looking around at some of the other big names that are here. We had Metta World Peace on. Hour number 1. They're all here for the NBA Film Festival, so you could watch us live on YouTube at JT The Brick or LV Sports Network as we continue on here. And this is pretty cool. The NBA has got a lot going on. And NBA Summer League is a big topic this time of year, and it's wrapping up, and I'm excited to be a part of the film festival tonight over at the Palms. Going to be bringing my son, and we're going to have a good time talking about what the NBA is doing with documentaries, features, and a lot of these young men, when they retire, they end up becoming entrepreneurs, and a lot of them want to be entrepreneurs in the film industry. So as we go through this process here, it's nice that they brought me out. We have the exclusive here at the film festival, along with the NBA, who's right next to us here, and that red carpet is right in front of us, so it could be a little bit loud in the background. A bunch of different topics that I want to get to going forward here. If you want to talk about LeBron James, today's the day to do it. He could be signed, sealed by tonight or tomorrow before the show. So I called out a couple of Warrior fans to kind of light it up and let us know what's going on. If you're a Warrior fan and you want LeBron, this is last call for LeBron James. And if you don't want him with the Warriors, great. I think that'd be a good phone call, too, to talk about how you're going to win without LeBron James. I think the train has left the station in downtown San Francisco, south of Market, where the Warriors can't win without LeBron James. How about that? They didn't need LeBron. Now they need LeBron, because they didn't do anything in free agency. So the Warriors are used to a standard of excellence under Joe Lacob and Steph Curry. And as Steph is out playing golf and Steve Kerr is kind of... Listen to this Steve Kerr soundbite. Here's Steve Kerr as he was talking to a fan, driving away. And Steve Kerr, a lot of people think, let the cat out of the bag that they make get LeBron.
Hey, we need to get LeBron, man. But we need LeBron.
Oh, we got him.
Okay, that's good. And
put that on Twitter. Oh, we got him.
Okay, I got you.
So Steve Kerr is saying we got him. So they got him there. I don't know if they got him or not, but Steve Kerr likes to play the media, and he knows how to play the media well. So that is a big storyline here as we are underway. And I personally believe that he's going to go to Cleveland. So we're going to get into that very quickly. Baron Davis, my partner on Raiders TV and Raiders Radio, is going to join us momentarily. We'll get him up here, and then we'll let him go, and they're going to get ready for this film festival as we get rolling here. If you want to get through, 702-365-9200 as we are live from NBA Summer League. We'll have the sound of Fernando Mendoza and what he was able to do last night at the ESPY Awards. I thought he was fantastic, wearing a white tuxedo. Looked like he was in the movie Casablanca. If you don't know what that is, Google it. And I thought he was a lot of fun and represented the Raiders really well. Really represented the Raiders tremendously well. And that was really important, for me at least, to see him get called up and win an award and handle that the way he should. Saying go Raiders, representing the Raiders with his mom. Just a beautiful, beautiful moment for him. I'm not a big fan of the ESPYs when they have the Savannah Bananas come on stage and act like they were doing a dance number. Or Mike Tyson literally did not know. Mike Tyson did not know who Shohei Ohtani was. So I thought that was really interesting there with Mike Tyson. But very quickly here, we'll get a few minutes with my partner with the Raiders at Silver and Black Productions. I'll have him on right after you. Let's knock you out first. Let's get you in here. You know, media man, how you got to have the microphone on.
Yeah,
my guy, Baron Davis. So let's begin. Talk about the film festival first off, because this is about NBA players becoming entrepreneurs and being in this side of the world, which you're also a part of. Tell us about that.
Well, one, it's good to see you, JT,
good to see
baby.
You.
Hey, we got a good one coming up. We got a good season
We
coming
better.
up.
You know what me and you had to do last year?
I know.
We did a good job last year.
We had to do some entertaining.
I need to bump into you at the building when we're winning 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah, that's gonna be different. So shout out to the Raider Nation.
So what are you doing here for Summer League?
Right now we here for NBA Summer League Film Fest.
Good.
And I think the cool thing about this is like it's celebrating players like myself and other players who are creators, actors. You got people like Big Baby here, Kevin Garnett, people in the podcast space. And it's a great opportunity for us to show that, we can transition to the other side of media, and then also opening up all the outlets to show what different media formats you can go into. So,
do you feel like you're a bit of a trailblazer recently from jumping from basketball into the NFL and doing what you did with Talk of the Nation?
Yeah, I think that's, my goal is to pioneer, right? It's to open up opportunities, open up space. So as a basketball player coming into the football world, right, it was, to show that we're fans as well and we can make that transition. And so for me, it's been an incredible experience because I get to be around incredible minds and people who have so much wealth and knowledge of the game of football that my curiosity leads, will lead me to work harder and become, a better interviewer and know exactly the ins and outs of the game. So I would say on that aspect, yes. And then, I've always been a filmmaker. Even when I played, I used to get scrutinized for it. But now you see something like the Vegas Summer League and these players putting in their own films and documentaries. I get really excited about this.
Aaron Davis is our guest. Why is the documentary world, and not so much features, but documentaries, so important to former NBA players and athletes? Because I think those are the best films being made. People come up to me all the time and say, hey, I want to get into radio. I want to get into the business. I say, no, get into the documentary side of Fox, ESPN, what you're doing with film, because I think it's better, it's more unique, and it really shows a lot of people's skill sets.
And it also, cements your legacy. Right, and so I think, when you think about documentaries, you think about owning the story or conveying the story to people that gives them, even more in-depth or perspective.
In your own words?
Into your world, right? When I directed the Drew League documentary, people hadn't been there. They'd never seen it. And so, I wanted to give them that feeling at home, whether in the UK or in Australia, and then also open up the story of the Drew. So when people got there, they felt comfortable, right? And so now fast forward, to, players creating their own documentaries. Bellinelli has his own documentary, Marco Bellinelli coming out. For me, it's like the next transition is features, right? And so that's why I'm here for our feature film Last Shot, because I think that there's an even different level of storytelling, right, that we can do to show that we're actual filmmakers and we can be a part of narratives. We can be actors and producers.
Before I let you go, because I know you're going in there, LeBron could make a decision in 24 to 48 hours. Cleveland, you have friends with the Warriors. Looks like Miami, no, but the Sixers deals looks good. Maxey to play with Jaylen Brown and a healthy Embiid. What do you think LeBron does in the next 48 hours? So who's the favorite?
JT. Raider Nation, baby.
Oh, you know. Oh, you know.
It's Raider Nation. It's Raider Nation. That's all I got to say. LeBron ain't a Raider fan, so LeBron not a Raider fan, so it'd be hard for me to follow him and keep up in the summertime.
Okay, all right. I have a feeling and you're not telling your boy.
I have an idea of where I think. No, I
that's
think
all
that,
I wanted. There's an idea what you think would be a good basketball fan.
Obviously, LeBron is, kept everybody in anticipation, but I wouldn't rule out Minnesota.
Really?
Yeah, when you think about it, you got LaMelo, you got Ant, you got Jaden McDaniel, right? They need a 4. They lost Julius Randle. They lost Naz Reid, right? And that's a team that's been hovering in the Western Conference semis, for the last 4 or 5 years, looking for that 4-man to get over the hump. Philadelphia is very attractive, but it's also like, who's going to pass the ball?
All right. I thought you were going to
pass the ball in Philadelphia.
I just thought you were about to break news on Raider Nation Radio. Tell me about, is that your producer or director?
The producer of the film, Warner. He's just a great guy.
Okay.
They called me and asked me if I wanted to be in the film. And then as we kind of got to know each other and spent time, and we shot the movie in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
It was like, hey, would you like to be a producer, help with the marketing, help with soundtrack, things like that. So, just wanted them to have some shine because the film is a good film around AAU basketball and also dealing with like a kid and a parent's relationship.
We'll get him. We'll get him to pop on. I think he went around the screen.
He's right there.
So we'll bring him back here and we'll get him on. And if not, I'll get him on during another break here. But the movie takes place, and it's about AAU basketball.
Yeah, so the movie actually takes place in L.A.
Okay.
Michael Rappaport plays the father. And, a kid and his dad having this great basketball relationship.
Jump in right
you
here.
said, JT.
You got it. Thanks, man.
I can lean in.
And so tell us about the movie, the producing, bringing in Barry. Yeah, grab a seat for us and tell us all about this. We're excited for you.
No, we're excited about the project. We shot it last year down in Alabama, and it's basically about a kid who had a tragic loss, and so has to find their way, find his way back. So, and moves in with his mom, and we use basketball as his kind of backdrop to, kind of meet new friends and discover himself.
What is it like funding a movie? What is it like bringing in a gentleman like this who knows a lot of people, coming up with the concept of the movie and bringing it to the finish line?
Yeah, it was a blessing to have Baron there.
Right.
We had so many kids constantly every day on the court, and he just kind of took over as the coach, pretty much. Our lead actors, our
Michael
lead
Rappaport.
Kids. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Rappaport was great. So he plays the dad at the beginning of the film. Mm-hmm.
So you're debuting it here at the film festival?
Tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Over
Tonight
at the Palms. Yeah, I'll be there for that. So what is it like when you deliver a movie? What do you want everybody to see and come out of it before you take it to the next level? How important is tonight?
Oh, it's great. It's great for feedback for us. It kind of gets us what everybody's looking for. We kind of understand, honestly, how to market the film going forward.
Okay.
So how to get it out to the rest of the people. And, we just want a positive reaction. So far,
Awesome.
people who have seen it have been very positive, and we just want to kind of keep that momentum going.
Good luck tonight. I'll see you there.
Right.
Maren, we'll let you get on the red carpet, my friend. We'll get these guys.
Nation, let's go.
Hey, me and you this year. I don't
We
predict
gotta do
wins.
more. We gotta do more. We gotta just, what we do when we ain't gonna make no predictions. When we win, we gonna show up and we gonna have our own little.
Well, how about making you a regular on the radio show every 2 weeks or so?
Let's do it.
We get our own little segment every 2 weeks.
Let's go.
I guarantee it'd be highly rated. People would watch
And we
it.
can shoot a little short vertical drama and put this in the film festival next year.
You're the best. Take care, my friend.
man.
Love working with you.
All right, likewise.
Baron Davis, who's come into my life here with the Raiders, and he's been nothing but great. Really enjoy Baron and what he's able to do with his movie, and the fact that he's got a movie which he's starring in, producing in with Michael Rappaport. We had the producer on there, so that was a lot of fun. All right, what are we going to do next? They just went into the film festival. We're going to get a couple of more guests before we get out of here. Clay, what's exciting in your world? What were you guys talking about this morning on Raider Nation Radio coming off Fernando last night? I'm assuming that was a pretty big topic.
Yeah, it's cool because you think about what Fernando can be, and as this all kind of works out, and just the way he still continues to spread his humility. We get a lot of thoughts from the text line on how Raider Nation is very proud of his humility thus far, and they know that he's a hard worker. But seeing more and more of his personality really goes a long way.
Fantastic. We're going to dive into that more. I see Ben in Denver. Is Ben still there in Denver on the future home of LeBron James? Ben, where's LeBron going? Go ahead.
Hey, JT, love the show as always. I'm not sure where he's going, and I know we're in like downtime right now. I know we got training camp coming up, but I mean, what a waste of time to be talking about LeBron. He in 8 years.
Time. It's the number one story in sports. I'm a sports talk host. What do you mean a waste of time? It's LeBron James, maybe the second greatest player to ever play, making a decision on an NBA team, and you think it's a waste of time? What do you want me to do? Talk about backup Raider safeties? This is LeBron James. We're at NBA Summer League, Ben.
JT, the World Cup is the number one story right now. In 8 years in LA, it's been an embarrassment. He hasn't gotten out of the first round. He's got one bubble ring. That's it. They shortened the season. And I don't know. I just don't get it. There's
you don't get LeBron James. You don't get LeBron. So why don't you give me a phone call on a topic you like? As I'm sitting here putting your ass on the radio, why don't you give me something you want to talk about?
Let's talk about Fernando Mendoza was great last night in his night suit. World Cup was great. It's just LeBron is a waste of time at this point. Who is he going to go help?
All right, goodbye, Ben. You added nothing. You added absolutely nothing to the show. Okay, and I just threw you into the jet dryer. You added nothing. To have the balls to say, as I'm sitting at NBA Summer League, as LeBron James is going to make a decision on his next team, the all-time leading scorer, arguably top 3 player to ever live, and it's not a topic. I know what topics are big. That's a bigger topic than Fernando wearing a white coat, and I'm a massive Fernando fan. All right, I led with Fernando. I'm playing Fernando. Actually, we're going to be playing Maxx Crosby coming up here, his media day session, because I didn't get a chance to hear that. We're going to play some of that, but leave the topics to me. Leave the topics to me. And I'll tell you what, that's one thing I do better than most people. I know when to not waste your time, and I know when to play the hits. And LeBron James sitting here at Summer League is what everybody's talking about. 702-365-9200. That guy fired me up. I needed that. I need a little shot of adrenaline as we got about another half hour to go. If you want to jump in, 702-365-9200 as we continue live from NBA Summer League. That's the first time I've had that in a while, where a guy has said, what the hell are you talking about, JT? I don't know. I'm not talking chicken wings. I'm not talking about top 10 sports movies in the summer. I don't have a show that has 9 co-hosts who are talking about golfing on the weekend with their wives. We're trying to keep it down the middle here. We're live from NBA Summer League. When we come back, more on Metta, on LeBron. We have that. Fant on Max and Bosa. We have some sound there, but we got a lot more to get to. Appreciate it. All of our social media is up at LV Sports Network. Also, our Raider Nation Radio YouTube channel. You should be signing up for free. Brought to you by Woodson Bourbon Whiskey. Charles Woodson's building his legacy. Woodson Bourbon Whiskey, proud partner of the show.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by M Resort Spa and Casino, the official hotel of the Las Vegas Raiders.
I heard Warriors, I heard Philly, Miami. This guy just told me to come to the Yankees. I'm like, he said New York Yankees. I believe that.
That was LeBron James at an appearance, and reportedly LeBron is over at Fanatics Fest, and the top headline right now at ESPN.com is that LeBron James is not ready to reveal the next team, but it will be fun. So this is breaking news from Dave McMiniman out of New York, making his first public appearance, which you just heard, since he informed the Lakers he would be leaving. LeBron James did not reveal his decision today at a live taping of his podcast at Fanatic Fest, the annual sports lifetime festival. It's not that Tyler Halliburton, the guest co-host for the Mind Game podcast, who was trying to recruit him, tried to pry, but LeBron played it off, and LeBron's talking about it, but he's going to take his time. So that's the update today for LeBron James. Now, he has the right to take his time. He's LeBron bleeping James. But the point is, if he does not make up his mind soon, there's a couple of teams that just don't have the inventory to go out and get other players. They just don't have the players to go out and recruit. So his agent, CEO of Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, informed the Lakers more than 2 weeks ago that he'd be moving on. So we're now into week 3 of LeBron James making his decision. 702-365-9200. Let's get out to Papa Meach. Good to see him on hold. Always appreciate his phone calls. What's happening?
Hey, JT, I'm a huge Warriors fan, and it gets me about sports is that people say, well, why would you want LeBron James? You played against him in the playoffs and championship games, and, now why would you want him? I don't understand that mentality. Look at Patrick Mahomes. I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs always win the division and stuff. But when sports athletes are superstars in other teams, I appreciate them as human beings and superstars, and I certainly want to beat them. But if he wants to come and play for the Warriors, as a fan, I say, bring it on, man. Come on over. And I think the things that are, in my thought, leading towards that direction, even though everybody says, oh, now the Warriors don't have a chance, is geography. He's a lot near L.A. and his family and all that stuff. Secondly, he knows what kind of coach Kerr is because he played for him in a very positive thing in the USA Olympics. And I think he and Curry are really good friends. And, of course, and I think also Green is good friends with him. In fact, I think a few years ago there was talk that they were trying to talk Green into coming down and playing with him in Los Angeles. So my gut is, as my gut was, I swear, JT, this is the truth, when the very first thing happened about who the Raiders going to get as their coach, I'm not that good in predicting things, but I thought it was going to be Kubiak from the beginning, and my gut feeling is that LeBron will go with the Warriors.
You know, Papa Meach, one more thing before you go. I've evolved on this topic. I think that NBA players are not like basketball players. Basketball players play on a short roster of only 12 players, and the elite Hall of Famers, they're going to choose where they want to play. Football players can't do that. Myles Garrett was able to choose L.A., You know, there's guys who can choose, but not many guys in the NFL can say, I want to leave my team and go play for blank. It doesn't work that way in the NFL. You have to have a GM, an owner, a coach, everyone on the same page. And a lot of NFL scouts and owners don't want an old player at the end of their career. Aaron Rodgers is a good example. Like Pittsburgh could do it. They did it. But probably half the teams in the league wouldn't want a healthy Aaron Rodgers this past his prime. But the NBA players want to play together. If they've never played together, like Jordan got to play with Barkley only in the Olympics. Jordan got to play with Bird only in the Olympics. I think we're in a new era of basketball now where these guys want to play together during their careers. They don't want to wait for the Olympics. They don't want to wait for some exhibition event. They want to play in their primes so they can say they played with each other because they're great friends.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. But with LeBron coming to the Warriors, I don't think it'd be, even because of his age and stuff, I don't think it would be a negative thing because I think teams would not like to see LeBron and Curry play together. So, but your point is well taken. I agree with you 100%.
Take care, my friend. Papa Beach checking in. The only other thing I'll say, though, it becomes a circus. If Warrior fans, and I know Warrior fans pretty well, I've been lucky enough to be blessed by being great friends with Raider Mort, Chris in West Oakland, guys who are on the radio in the Bay Area. My career started on the radio on the Warriors flagship. I know a lot of people. Greg Papa, who I've been texting, and God bless Greg Papa. I wanted to get that out here. Greg Papa doing better. You know, he was the voice of the Warriors at one point. And when I look at the Warriors now, if they want to have this 1 year where they're a circus and they're just going to hang around and be a circus with LeBron James and not win a title, but think they can, I'm all for that because I'm going to be on the radio on Tuesday nights and a Thursday night. And the Warriors are going to play a game against the Knicks, and LeBron's going to be in the Garden if he's a Warrior. And that's going to look different and pretty cool. But if LeBron ends up going to Philadelphia, then all of a sudden I'm nervous as a Knicks fan. I think LeBron takes Philadelphia to the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't know if my Knicks get back. What happens if LeBron and the Sixers, if they come to terms, beats the Knicks in the Eastern Conference semifinals and the Knicks don't go back-to-back? There's a reality that could happen. Hey, we decided as we're sitting here at NBA Summer League, and we got to be a little bit quiet here because it's the red carpet going on in front of us. We wanted to play a little bit of Maxx Crosby from Media Day. Max is here in the building today watching basketball. Here's Max with our teammates here from Silver and Black Productions a couple of weeks ago.
Man, everybody's been waiting for Max to come in, that is for sure. Entering Season 8, I don't think anybody is more excited than you to be out there. I mean, it just seems like there's an energy. There's always a focus and an energy. But it just seems like there's just you're just dedicated to making this year so different because of the guys around you. Mm-hmm. What did you think when you heard, okay, we got Quay, we got Nakobe, we're getting Kwity Paye, and then you see in the draft some of the young talent, the edge rushers you got?
Yeah, honestly, every year is a different journey. And, there's no secret. It's been a different offseason, to say the least.
Welcome to the NFL, right? You never thought you could learn more in year 8. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But honestly, it's been a blessing in disguise. I've had the chance to grow in a lot of ways. And, my former D coordinator, Gus Bradley, used to talk about uncomfortability and growth. And, that's something that I really, dove into this offseason because, without taking risk and being uncomfortable, you're never going to have a chance to have great growth. So that's really where I've been at. And I'm in an incredible place. And, we got a lot of work to do for sure. But we have, a lot of talent on both sides of the field. And, ultimately it doesn't really matter what it says on paper. We got to go out there and find ways to win. And, that's the only reason why we play this game.
Man, I mean, you're just a marvelous, terrific football player. And, when people talk about Max, talk about the effort, you're in the building early. What are the things that you continue to add to your game? What's the thing this year that you needed to add to your game to put you at that next level?
Yeah, there's always, room for growth and improvement. And for me, this offseason, I want to do, pack a little bit more of a punch as far as, in the weight room and strength and hitting the trap bar and doing certain things, put a little bit more muscle on. I think it'll help, just physically, staying healthy. Yep. And just in general, improve my game. And that's something we've really worked on, and I feel incredible. Physically I've been PRing, across the board. I PR'd and all my stuff this morning. So nice. That's something I've really been focused on because I can't be out there with the guys right now. And there's, you could either look at it as like a poor me and feel bad for yourself, or you can, find ways to improve in other areas that you typically wouldn't have the time, that big allotted amount of time to go out there and focus on other things that you can add to your game. So I've been, across the board just with all, everybody involved helping me, get back to, 200%, health. And, we've been working nonstop, and it's been incredible so far.
What pushes Maxx Crosby? I tell the kids all the time that I coach, effort's a talent. I truly believe that. Because if everybody could do it, they'll do it, and they don't do it at a consistent level. And you play with the effort and 24/7. I mean, that's what people really, truly praise you about, and to put yourself in the right position every time. What pushes you or triggers you in your mind at, like, every play they going to get this? Because people could say that, but they don't bring it every play.
Yeah.
What in your mind or triggers you, or when you're getting ready for a game or a season, that, man, every play I'm going to be this type dude?
Yeah, it's really, it comes down to the preparation and having the mindset where every time I go out there, I'm trying to impose my will. And I feel like, and the reason I've been able to, be put in this position and loved by, the fans and, being in a spot to lead is because of my actions. You know what I mean? Every single day I come in here with intentionality, and I want to improve and show the guys how it's done. And, you can't just be great by being smart. You can't just be great by being a high effort guy. You got to be able to tie all those things together. And, when you have the ability and you take the time in the film room and you put your body through hell so you can go out there and give out full effort all the time, and you just combine that and just fine-tune your skill, and you just become more and more obsessed with playing this game because you realize that there's another level you can get to and another level. And that's why, I work so hard, because I want to be able to go out there and be the best version of myself for my teammates so we can go out there and have the best chance to win.
But you also aim high, right? So, there's a difference between being a great player, which you are, and then being one of the greatest of all time when it's all done. And there's a legacy, and you've always kind of seen that. But what people don't see is the process, and it feels like every decision you make is so intentional. I mean, is your day, do you really focus on those micro kind of decisions that will make the tiniest bit of difference between great and greatness?
Yeah, 100%. I don't play this game to be one of the best. I want to be the best, and I truly mean that. And it takes every bit of fiber and energy in your body to have a chance at doing that. So, yeah, it's all the little things that pay off in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to show up and do the conditioning test. Everyone's going to show up to practice and do practice for 2 hours. It's about all the little things when people aren't looking. It's about when you go home and how are you resting and how are you recovering and all those things that don't get all the shine, but they matter, and nobody is forcing you to get in there. Nobody's watching you do it. You got to make that choice and decision. So, the people that are most consistent in the things that are not glorifying, which is time consuming and, takes up, sacrifice and time and effort. Like, I feel like I'm the best in the world at that part of it because it's
People don't
really
see
hard.
that,
Yeah,
right?
people
They
don't
get
see
that.
it. 100%.
Yeah, it's midnight and you're hungry and you're like, there's an Oreo and an almond cracker.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take the almond cracker. That's hard to do
100%.
because nobody's going to see it.
Facts.
Rachel's not even going to see it. Nobody's telling on you.
That's the biggest difference.
It is the difference.
It
People
is.
don't understand that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna get no almond crackers.
That's interesting you said that because I think that's the one thing that the guys, you make the phone calls in the off season, whether for me, it was like Darryl Green. I would call him and like, man, how were you successful against this guy? And when you have those phone calls, when people are calling you and you're calling guys to just get that extra little bit to put you over the top, what are you saying to that young guy who's calling you, or the questions you're asking to whoever? If you're calling Miles,
yeah, who are you calling? I want to, because everybody calls you.
Right.
Yeah.
Who do you say? Okay, what did you do? I want to be great.
No, that's real. I think when I first came in the league, the biggest thing to me, and I think was one of the most beneficial and best decisions I made, was reaching out to all the best guys. Like, I literally DM'd J.J. Watt, Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Chandler Jones. Like, I swear to God, I was just cold calling trying to get in contact with them. That's good. And they all reached out at some point. Yeah. And I just wanted to learn from them because, you just said it. Like, I'm not trying to be one of the best. I'm trying to be the best. And those are all the best at what they do. So I was taking nuggets from all of them, and I still do to this day. But, yeah, you talk about the NFL right now. There's so many guys that reach out. But for me, like, those are the same guys that I reach out to. Like, Von Miller's doing it at a level where you already know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer and he's still playing. Like, that's the level of guy that I want to, be considered at. A guy that's not just, a great, a guy that's immortal, you know what I mean? That's going to be talked about forever. So there's always things you can learn. And honestly, the other thing is it's not just my sport. Like, there's greatness in all different type of ways, And, I'm a huge basketball guy. Everyone knows that. So a guy like Michael Jordan, like, I call Michael often, you know what I mean? Or text him and ask him questions.
What's 23 tell you?
Hey, the things I hear from him are probably the coolest thing on the planet. You know what I mean? But like, guys like him or, guys that have done it at the highest level, because you could talk about it and guys could, say they've been that, but it's like there's a certain group of guys that have done it at a level where it's almost untouchable, and that's what I'm chasing every day.
Really quick, I know we got to let you go. The young fella came over to your house on your court and he lost in horse. Just let us know, can he shoot it or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. When you have to start with me, you know what I mean? It's honestly
can he shoot it or not? Because I got flick of the wrist over here. I'm making sure he can shoot.
I believe it. He got put in a bad spot. And it wasn't that. I'll just leave it.
You're making excuses for the young. You're a good teammate. That's okay. He said he couldn't even play in high school. It's okay. He had the Boozer brothers on his high school.
As long as he could throw the ball.
That's all we care about.
That's all we need.
Max, your journey's been fun to watch, and we can't wait to see. We know where the legacy's going. We know what the end game is. We see it, and we can't wait to see where it goes this year. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that was really cool. Good content there by our teammates at Silver and Black Productions. Amber Theo Harris, James Jones, and my partner Eric Allen. And EA's getting ready to go back for the first time to Canton, Ohio as an active Hall of Famer. Last summer, we spent with Eric Allen at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I had the opportunity to MC his night, and man, time flies. That's almost coming up here in a week or so. That EA's going back there, and he'll be back there as a gold jacket Hall of Famer. In regards to that content there with Max, very interesting to know that he's texting with Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. There's only a few people walking God's green earth that you can text that are left, that are at that level of GOAT status. And it's Messi, which I don't think's taking any text from Max. But Michael Jordan, and then to have Tom Brady in the building. So Max is on this journey. It got a little bumpy this last year. I just talked to George Fant, who's his friend, about that. And, the Max journey is still being played out here. And I'm just happy he's back, because that thing could have ended bizarre. And Baltimore, that was a blessing in disguise, as I kept reporting on this, because I had more information than Diana Rossini or anybody else who was a so-called NBA insider who was swinging and missing on that topic. I knew where Max wanted to be. And when the Raiders moved him and Max was okay with being moved, and John Spytek and Max came together on what looked like to be a fair deal with Baltimore. Baltimore took that whole deal and screwed it. And Baltimore did Max dirty, and he did Max's family dirty on that deal. And Max could have went sideways. You know, he's a young man still, Max, man. He could have went sideways on that deal. And that thing could have got really, really, really ugly and sloppy. And it didn't. Max was in the building the next morning with rehab and workouts because he wants to be great. And I think he has an opportunity to be really good with this defense overall. I was texting someone with the Rams yesterday about this Aaron Donald story, who does a podcast for the Rams, and he believes that, obviously, Aaron Donald's going to come back. Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett together could go down as the two greatest players of all time ever to play on the defensive side of the ball. Ever. And think about all the greatest players who have ever played together. You know, Jerome Brown, unfortunately, passing away early with Reggie White. Jerome wasn't a Hall of Famer. Deacon Jones and Merlin Olsen are the two greatest defensive players, arguably, to ever play on the same team. Both Hall of Famers. You look at Too Tall Jones, Randy White, the great Dallas Cowboys defense. And then I got to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers that had Mean Joe Green, right? L.C. Greenwood. Their front was one of the best of all time, and they had Jack Lambert and Jack Ham behind them. The Raiders were fortunate enough to have, in their prime, Howie Long. And when you look at all the great players that Howie played with, I mean, I look at the history of the Raiders up front and what they were able to do. The Raiders have had some great guys up front, no doubt about that. But Howie Long goes down as the most famous defensive lineman. But I have an argument there when it comes to that. There were other great defensive linemen to play in the history of the Raiders all time. And I know them all, and I got a chance to meet them. And when you look at putting and pairing two of the greatest players of all time, and I mean all time together, we're talking about a defensive line that happened to have under Al Davis, and I'm not comparing Max now to Malcolm Kuntz, and I'm not comparing the current team that we have with the all-time greatest Raiders defensive front, but there's been some pretty good defensive players that have played for the Raiders. And now they have Maxx Crosby here. And Greg Townsend is someone I always bring up. Greg Townsend is the most forgotten player that played under the Raiders, and he's not forgotten in Raider Nation, don't get me wrong. He's remembered as a legend here. But when you look at him as the all-time sack leader, and I think if Max stays here a few more years, he'll pass him. But you had Greg Townsend and Howie Long together. Now Maxx Crosby at least has some more help, and I think that's going to help Max define his legacy with the silver and black. All right, they just shut the doors for Summer League, the film festival, as they're about to play a couple of movies. I'll be over at the Palms tonight as they're going to debut a couple of their big movies. Baron Davis has one of them, as Baron joined us a little bit just about 10 minutes ago. 702-365-9200. We are brought to you by the 872 Laborers. Tommy White in the 872 back with us, building the city on time and on budget. I'll come back, wrap up the show. We'll get you ready for our word of the day. We didn't get it right yesterday. We're going to clean that up from NBA Summer League and make sure you have an opportunity to win. Live from Summer League. Thanks to the whole team who put us here. We appreciate it. From the Summer League Film Festival, JT will throw it to Q at the top of the hour.
Welcome back to the JT the Brick Show, brought to you by the DeCasta Verde Law Group. If you get injured in an accident, call 702-222-9999.
Obviously, LeBron has, kept everybody in anticipation, but, I wouldn't rule out Minnesota.
Really?
Yeah, when you think about it, you got LaMelo, you got Ant, you got Jaden McDaniel, right? They need a four. They lost Julius Randle. They lost Naz Reid, right? And that's a team that's been hovering in the Western Conference semis, for the last 4 or 5 years, looking for that four-man to get over the hump. Philadelphia is very attractive, but it's also like, who's going to pass the ball?
All right, that was Baron Davis there taking a look at that. He made an interesting point on this LeBron James potential decision, and a couple of people that I've interviewed here over the last couple of weeks have said the same thing. what is going to be the best fit for LeBron to play as an individual, getting up and down the court where he's going to touch the ball? I don't know. I think the Warriors would be great with that, but Steph is the priority. Draymond's pretty good when it comes to all that. And then when we take a look at Joel Embiid, he's a ball-dominant guy. You got to get the ball into Joel Embiid. He can score 50, 60 points a game. So does LeBron want to touch the ball, or does LeBron want to be a role player? I don't know. I don't know exactly what he wants to do. I just think he wants to have fun. Does you think LeBron James at this stage of his career really believes he's going to win a championship? Only one team's going to win. The Knicks won it last year. Go ask SGA and Victor Wembanyama if they thought they were going to win. And we know that LeBron's not going to the Knicks. He's not going to the Spurs. And he's definitely not going to OKC. And if I had to pick the winner of the NBA Finals for this upcoming year, I would pick OKC. I didn't expect OKC to lose to the Spurs, and I think OKC was better than the Knicks. If they would have played the Knicks in the final, maybe the Knicks would have beat them. So everybody's forgetting about Oklahoma City. Everybody. They're going to get good players too, and they got great players in their prime. So when we look at all of this coming back, big decision is going to be right around the corner here when it comes to the future of LeBron James. And for those who don't want me talking about LeBron, I apologize. We're talking about LeBron because this is going to hit here over the weekend or maybe into next week, and it's going to change everything. If you're joining us late, here's the Mendoza speech. Before we get to that, Clay, I keep forgetting this. It's on me. Let's get our word of the day so we can get everybody in here before Q starts and keep the train rolling with our Summer of Fun.
Yeah, text the word FLIGHT, F-L-I-G-H-T, to 702-365-9200, and you get a chance to win 5 nights in the cruise cabin on the Mississippi River, up and down, and we take care of your flights as well as the taxes, gratuities, and port fees.
Oh, I love that. You said on the Mississippi?
5 nights on the big muddy up and down the historic river of the United States. Can't beat that.
Would you take the cash or would you be on the river?
Yeah, you could take $3,000 cash, but I would want to be on the river because I think that would be just a bucket list kind of trip.
Yeah, I just floated on the Boise River, man. I just floated. It's called floating. So you get in these tubes and you tie your beer to other tubes and you go down this river. So we had to drive a truck about 40 minutes to where we were going to leave it so we could all get back, right? You just can't float down a river and then walk home. And the float, as they called it, was 2 hours and 20 minutes consistently floating. We stopped a few times to crack some Modelo's and have a good time, and then we got out of the water and drove back. It was amazing, but this Mississippi float sounds great. So here was Fernando's speech last night. This is from the ESPYs in New York. Fernando Mendoza.
Goes to Fernando Mendoza.
Thank you, everybody. It's such a blessing to be here. First off, want to give all the glory to God. Football. Thank you. Football is the ultimate team sport, and although this award has one name on it, it belongs to so many people. I want to give a huge thanks to my family, my coaches, my beloved Hoosier Nation, and most importantly, out of all of them, my beloved teammates. Love you guys. Appreciate everything you guys done for me. I also want to give a big congratulations to all the other nominees and all the amazing athletes being honored here tonight. God bless. Go Raiders. Thank you, guys.
Out of a performance, I'd give that a 9 out of 10. Mateo, and thank you. I appreciate it. Brandy, thank you so much. The collaboration was great today. The only thing Fernando said is he said, Hoosier Nation. There's only one nation, Raider Nation. And I would tell Fernando that. That would be the only thing I would change is there's one nation, Raider Nation, but he was fantastic. I want to thank all of our guests today. George Fant, who's an offensive lineman, who's got a really big business going on here at NBA Summer League. Also our good friend, Baron Davis. And we started the show with Metta World Peace. If you miss any portion of that, you can find that on our YouTube channel or go find it at lvsportsnetwork.com. Q is coming up next. He's got a great show lined up for you as always. We will be back in studio tomorrow for our final show of the week. Have a great rest of the day, everybody.